Welcome to Winging It. We're doing deck upgrades today in Arkham Horror the card game. This is Amanda and Silas going through the Innsmouth Conspiracy. They have 20 XP to spend because I've gone through the last two scenarios without spending XP because of the structure of the campaign. And the last one gave a whopping amount of XP, so I have a ton to spend. I also have played Horror in High Gear, the next scenario coming up, a couple of times, so I'm aware that it really is about going fast and getting clues as quickly as you can. You may be mobbed by a murder ball coming up behind you, so you do need some potential enemy management, but mostly I found that running with 2 flex is a lot easier than a fighter and a clover because your clover really needs to be able to get clues fast if you want to keep action compression up. So that guided some of my changes here. The first obvious upgrade to make was to go ahead and take Peter and upgrade him my second copy, so I've got the 2 level 2 Peters. Gives me that extra willpower and the extra horror soak. Now, as I mentioned, I want to be able to have some reliable clue tech. I need Silas to be able to get clues. So to that end, I am spending 4 XP to take out my 2 level 0 look what I found and upgrade to the level 2 look what I found. Now, the fact that you can get clues off connecting locations with this isn't that great because you're generally just going to, in Horror and High Gear, get them as you go. But being able to fail by 3 instead of 2, that's really good, especially because his intellect isn't necessarily the highest. So this is definitely it's more reliable, and it's, just easier to make yourself get into a situation where you can pull this off. So we're going to upgrade that. Now, Derringer here has been a bit of a dead card for me. I mean, it's, with 2 shots, not a lot of compression. You take an action to put it down, and then you get, some extra fight. It's not really a great card for Silas. It's just, it was this or Fire Axe, so I took this. I am replacing that with a chainsaw. Okay, it's a 4-cost, level 4 weapon. It takes 2 hands, it uses 3 supplies, not ammo, and then you can spend a supply to fight. You get +2 fight and deal +2 damage for this attack. So it's not like the Guardian weapons where you get just a huge combat boost, but Silence doesn't really care about that too much. And then if you fail, you can put 1 supply on it or deal 1 damage to the attacked enemy. So, it does give you some benefit on failure. Really nice weapon. And it does take up 2 hands, so that's kind of a problem for us. So I was going to put 2 chainsaws into his deck. It's always been my plan to put chainsaws in this deck. But I am not, because, again, this is such a clue-intensive scenario. I wanted to focus on other things. However, because it's only got 3 supplies on it, I did want to go ahead and grab an emergency cache, which allows you to put 4 supply tokens. This is the level 3 version. You can put 4 supply tokens, or get 4 resources, or 4 supply tokens, or any combination of those, and put the supply tokens on. Pretty much the chainsaw is what that's for. So I can reload the chainsaw with the emergency cache. My plan, because it is a 2-handed weapon, even though I do want to focus on clues, I'm going to take out the old key ring, as it's just, it's one thing to put down a weapon and put down a better weapon. It's another thing to put down a key ring and then not be able to use it or feel conflicted about putting a chainsaw down because it would knock out my old key ring. So we're going to replace one of our old key rings with the emergency cache. And then I'm going to take the other old key ring out, again for the same reason, and we're going to go ahead and put in a Sharp Vision. Being a skill card that can get clue acceleration, if you just commit this to a basic investigate, which is pretty much what you're doing, then it gets 3 icons. If you succeed by 2 or more, then you can get 2 icons, or 2 clues. So it's a nice clue acceleration. So skill cards, of course, great for Silas. Even with his 2 intellect, he can usually commit enough to pull that off. So that is what we're going to replace our other old key ring with. Now, a card that people really like in Silas, because he's got such a great Elder Sign, is Eucatastrophe. It's fast play when you reveal a chaos token that would reduce your skill value to 0 during a skill test, including the auto-fail. You can cancel that token and treat it as a Elder Sign instead. So, of course, his Elder Sign lets you commit cards back to the test, so you could commit, Resourceful and then pull this back. And some people have made some pretty crazy decks that leverage this in Silas and do some bonkers things. If you watch the Forgotten Age campaign I did online with Blind Dragon. He played a build that leveraged that heavily. It's really crazy. I don't enjoy playing the Silas builds that leverage this card heavily and lean into it. I just like having lots of skills and committing and just passing tests. I like pass tests. He's got great stats. Passing test is more fun for me. So I don't really lean into this hard, but it's still a really good card because of his Elder Sign, and I just use it kind of as like a failsafe against against the auto fail. Although, I will definitely use it if the situation comes up where I think I can fail a test and use fail effects. It's just not something I'm building for. So anyway, I'm going to replace one of my Live and Learns with that. Live and Learn's a good card. It's mostly about leveraging fail effects like Oops and Look What I Found. I do have the 2 Look What I Founds, but it's not a card that I need to hold on forever. So Catastrophe seems like a good, event to replace that. And I'm replacing an event with an event, which is good because I don't want to reduce too many of my skill cards. And then I already have one Brute Force, which is like the Sharp Vision, but for fighting. And I'm just going to grab another one of those. And I'm going to take out Stunning Blow. Love Stunning Blow, just running out of room for it in the deck. Finally, this new card that just came out in this pack is Unrelenting. It's max 1 committed per test. It's got Silas on the art, so it must be good for Silas. I've heard it's broken in Silas. I haven't played it, so we'll see. But anyway, after you commit Unrelenting to a skill test, search the chaos bag for up to 3 non-autofill tokens of your choice and seal them here. If all 3 tokens sealed on Unrelenting are +1/0 Bless or the Elder Sign token, draw 2 cards. So this can be a draw engine, kind of like people use Drawing Thin for, but it's only 1 XP. He can pull it back because you draw the cards when you do the sealing. That's already happened by the time you would pull this back in Silas. So really nice card for card draw for him. Or you can do things like force yourself to fail by getting rid of all the good tokens for Look What I Found. Or if you're trying to pass, you can get rid of all the bad tokens that would, the -4. You can get rid of, the Elder thing, all that. So just a really strong card. I'm going to get rid of 2 Unexpected Courages for this. I think it slots in nicely where Unexpected Courage was. You're certainly going to get at least the value of that second icon that you're losing from the Unexpected Courage, given that you're able to tailor, kind of craft the bag around, what you want to be able to do. And then, of course, it gives you the draw effect. So that's where we're at with Silas. Let's go take a look at Amanda. So for Amanda, this 20 XP ended up being a fairly straightforward affair. So the first card, a card that I really want to upgrade because it makes such a huge difference for her, is the upgraded Grizzly Totem, which does allow her to add an icon just like the regular level 0 one, but also gives card draw if the test is successful, and that's huge. It just lets her, because she lives or dies by having a handful of cards, and so being able to reliably, she's always going to have a card committed to tests, so being able to reliably just draw cards is really, really strong. So the level 0 is kind of marginal, but the level 3 is excellent. So that was a critical card. And then some other just fairly straightforward upgrades are going to be to upgrade the 2 perceptions here into the upgraded level 2 perceptions. And so you get an extra icon, which makes it more reliable for her to pass the intellect test. And then if you succeed by 2 or more, you get 2 to draw 2 cards instead of 1. So this is just mega card draw for her. Again, she just needs to have her hand full of cards as much as possible. So that's a very critical upgrade for her. And then another one that probably it may not seem as obvious is that I'm going to upgrade the 2 level 0 Vicious Blows into level 2 Vicious Blows. Now this doesn't give her the card draw. You might have thought I was going to do the overpowers, but this is just because she really likes her bursty damage. As a flex, she's not somebody who does both damage and cluing. It's like she does a lot of cluing, and then she can turn around and be very fierce with the Time Worn Brand. The Vicious Blows just lets her. It's really not my intention to get up to do 4 per hit, which this would allow her to do if she succeeds by 2. But just being able to put the 2 icons under her and get the damage compression is really, really strong. And then if we need to do more, we can. So that's my thinking there with getting the upgraded Vicious Blows. Then that leaves us with 9 XP to spend. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a Charisma, and this is not, normally I think I'm pretty happy with just the lab assistant, but since we have Elena Harper, although I don't know how many scenarios we'll have her for, I want to be able to have her out and be more than just icons. So having Elena is just what is, kind of forcing my hand as far as adding a Charisma to the deck. So I can have her out and the lab assistant. Finally, with our last 6 XP, we're going to grab 2 copies of Studious. As I've said, having a handful of cards is really important to her, and being able to start with 2 extra cards in her opening hand and really craft what those are is super important. So hopefully we can, get the draw engines or, get cards that will draw other cards. Starting with 7 cards is just really, really key for her. So that's where we're at. Let's go play Horror in High Gear.